Terri Harper, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for coming. All right, then, let's start. So, who is Terri Harper? Tell us what you do currently and what you've accomplished.
So I'm a professional boxer from Doncaster. I've been professional now almost 10 years, which is crazy, and I feel like I've blinked and time's flown so fast. I can remember 19 when I first got my professional licence, and my manager then, Andrew, said, time's going to fly and enjoy every minute because it's going to be over before you know it. And I was obviously promoting the upcoming fight that I've got coming over in Doncaster, and they were talking about how I've almost been professional for 10 years, and it was kind of one of them things where I still think I'm 19 years old, but it's been a crazy journey and it's gone so fast and there's been so many highs and lows, but I've loved every minute and I won't change anything.
You're a world champion. What's that feel like? Like, how many people in the world can say that? Not many.
No. To be fair, I don't think I milk it as much as I should, and it happened so quickly in my career, and I was so young, and I don't think I really understood the importance of it. So when I became world champion at Sheffield 2022, again, I kind of feel like from then my career skyrocketed, and you got all the targets on you back then and people calling you out, and I was new to it all and didn't understand it, and then you feel like people are waiting to see you fail, so there's a lot of pressure that comes with being a world champion.
It's new territory as well. Is there a support system when you first make that break? Do you know what to do with yourself? Is there people there to help you? Are you signed at that point? It must be overwhelming, or was it not?
Yeah, I've got a good team around me, and obviously people have been in the game for many years and they understand how it all goes, but I do think it's important to be surrounded by level-headed people, and you're kind of not letting your ego get in the way of stuff, and someone who can keep you grounded as well. And I think my team have done a great job of that, and maybe kept me too grounded. And again, like I said, I've not milked it enough of being world champion, and probably gave myself enough credit for what I've achieved.
I'd like to see or understand the depth of how. Are you media trained? Are you allowed to say certain things? Because you mentioned ego there, but when I think of boxers, usually they're full of ego, aren't they? And you have to be, don't you? Because you've got to psych yourself up. Is there training? Have you had training on how to psych yourself up? What's it look like behind the scenes?
Oh, nothing at all. It's all. I do feel like as a boxer you've got to have that switch and that second personality, but for me, that's mainly switched on when I'm in the ring. So I'm not one of them to call someone out on social media or have beef and arguments and back and forth. So I like to just keep myself to myself, do the job. But I understand it's a business, and we've got to sell these fights and create a little bit of interest. And that's probably where I've gone wrong in my career. I've probably been a bit too kind and too laid back. And it's probably not until now where I'm in the older years of the sport where I understand what I need to do to push on to get these bigger fights that are waiting for me.
There's got to be a balance about being yourself, because obviously, like you say, you're true to yourself, aren't you? And then versus being out there calling someone out and getting ratings and selling more tickets, and I think there's great value in being yourself over chasing and selling tickets, but there has to be a melting point, don't there, where they come together.
I think it's the happy medium, isn't it? I think for me, I'd always want to be the people's champion and not be one to rub people and the fans up the wrong way, kinda. So just make sure I'm doing my job and what I need to do in the gym, and I kind of leave all the talking to the opponents and just give a couple one-liner replies and stuff, just little things to keep that interest there and the interest building.
I think you do a good job. Like, I follow you on social media and you show a lot of your partner and the life behind the scenes, and I think that resonates with a lot of people. They see you for who you are, and I think that's quite a buy-in factor as well. I bet there's a lot of fans that support you for that reason as well. So
yeah, definitely. I think being approachable as an athlete and a sports person, I think that's the most important thing, and someone that people can relate to and just know that we're human as well, and we're not just some like superhuman.
Yeah. Well, I think you're superhuman. You literally go into battle, don't you? So how do you prepare for that? It's got to be a mental battle as well as the obviously the physical, enduring all the training in the camp, and is it as much mental as physical? Or?
Yeah, well, I'd say it's more mental, 100%. The going to the gym and putting your body through hell is the easy part, and it's you're doing everything that your brain's telling you not to do, and still now there's times when I'm walking to the ring and I think, what am I doing here? And it just comes around so fast. But I guess like over the years and getting the experience, you kind of get used to it all. But there's times where you think, what am I doing? But it's all part of it, and it's what I thrive off and what I enjoy, and it's a good buzz.
It's a super experience. Like I say, not many people will experience it.
Exactly.
So yeah, how did it all start in terms of like why boxing? I think you said 17, or what age did you have your first professional fight? 19. Yeah. But why boxing, and did it start way before that?
So my first sport was football, so played football from being a kid. I was a proper little tomboy, and just having to kick about with the lads on the front of the house and stuff like that. And then I went into the boys' team, obviously at that age. I just love sport and being active, and like any extra sports I could do at school, I always joined in. And then I can remember getting to, I think I was 10 and 11, and my mum said, I've got to go play for a girls' team now because I got to that age. And I can remember just crying for hours, saying I don't want to play for girls. I'll be screaming and complaining about the nails and all this stuff. But I ended up going to a local girls' team. Just loved it. Made some great friends, and then just randomly one day I was watching. I don't know if you ever saw it when it went, but it was Jack Osborne, Adrenaline Junkie, and he was doing things every day to get this adrenaline rush. And on one of the days he were boxing. And my dad says, what do you reckon to give boxing a try? So I was just like, yeah. And then went and found a local boxing gym. And as soon as I walked through the gym doors, I just fell in love, and I knew like this was my sport. And I think going from such a team sport all my life to something that was so individual and down to you, I think that's what I loved, the new challenge of that. So, and I never looked back. I was juggling football and boxing for a couple of years, and then I wanted to get more serious with my boxing, so I hung my football boots up. And
can you play then? Can you play football?
Yeah, I can. Yeah. I give Gemma a good game now and then, but I got to be careful with the injuries now. Yeah. So just a little kick about.
So your upbringing then. So you said your dad sort of enabled you. He suggested it to you. Have you always had that support?
Yeah, my dad's my biggest fan, and I can remember when I got to an age at like 14, 15 where I kind of drifted away from the gym a little bit, and my dad was begging me to get back in, to the point where he'd say, I'd pay you £20 just to go to the gym. So I used to take £20 and then sod off and play outside. But my dad's, like I said, my dad's always been my biggest fan, and when I told him that I would turn him professionally, he loved it, and he's there for every fight, and he's my biggest supporter, and always selling me tickets to local people in the pub and stuff like that. So yeah.
I love that. That's great. You were a 3-weight world champion.
Yeah. So
tell our listeners what exactly that means and how you've had to change your body in order to make that happen. You were telling me earlier that you were hungry.
Yeah. Honestly, it's crazy what I put my body through over the years, but it's worth it. And so when I first started professional, I was fighting at super featherweight, which is 9 stone 4. I naturally walk around at like 10 stone, anywhere between 10 stone 7, 10 stone 10, depending on what I've been eating. And so I used to cut all the way down to 9 stone 4, and that's where I won my first world title. As I matured and grew, my body grew also, and more muscle mass and stuff like that, and I just struggled to make 9 stone 4. And when I lost my belt against Alicia at Sheffield Arena, I think that made me realise that I need to move up in weight. I was just putting too much stress on my body and just boiling myself down to make weight, and that was the biggest fight at that weight. So sat and spoke with my team, and we had no world title belts then holding us into that weight category, so we just looked at his options, where we'd go from there, and an opportunity came up at super welterweight, which is crazy to think now, which is at 11 stone. So
wow.
So like I said, I naturally walk around at 10 stone 7, 10 stone 10, and 11 stone was just much heavier than what I've ever fought or ever walked around at. So I had to do a lot of work with strength training and eating. Like, I got to a point where I was sick of eating food, and that was, again, a challenge in itself. So I won the world title at super welterweight against Hannah Rankin in 2022. So I won that belt, and then I had a couple of defences, and then I had a chance to become a 3-weight champion against Sandy Ryan, and that was the weight division below, and that was at welterweight. Yeah, sorry, it's not welterweight. So that was like 10 stone 7. So that's my natural walk around weight. And again, you got to remember, these girls who are in these weight divisions are boiling themselves down to this weight, then getting in the ring next day, probably between 7 and 10 pounds heavier. Whereas for me, I was getting in at the weight that I walked around at. So I was kind of at a disadvantage, weight-wise, size-wise for that. And then when that fight didn't come off and we didn't get the result we wanted, we thought it's time to go back down and get more to my natural weight. So now I fight at lightweight, which is 9 stone 9.
And is this the weight for you then?
Yeah, this is the, so it's a challenge to get to 9 stone 9, but I do it comfortably, and it's just clean eating and just being strict and just managing everything. I'm not boiling myself down to the weight and killing myself to make it. So
we'll talk about what your camp looks like a bit later on. But first, what's a day-to-day look like for you outside of camp?
Yeah, I kind of just potter about. It's either going over to see family. I still get in the gym and tick over. Cause if I don't do a training session, I feel really like just out of it and feel like I'm putting on too much weight. So I got to obviously monitor that and not go too heavy in between fights. But yeah, it's more or less just busy doing nothing really. I'll just catch up with everyone who I've not been able to see throughout camp, because like once I'm in camp, it's blinkers on and kind of become a bit of a recluse, and it's like Groundhog Day. You're just in the gym, home, and just that on repeat. So I like to catch up with everyone who I've not seen over 12 weeks or so, and then just next thing I know, back in gym, back in camp. Yeah,
there's got to be some recovery in there as well. I suppose after a fight.
Oh, plenty of holidays.
Yeah.
So always booking the holiday in, and we're already looking now at the next one that we're going to squeeze in between.
There's a lot of blue sky on your social media, that's for sure. And so you should.
Yeah.
So in camp then, so you're in camp now.
Yeah.
Tell me what that looks like. So you say the blinkers on, strict regime I expect. Talk to me about diet and training, how many times you train a day, what sort of training it is.
So I'm training at minute twice a day. Once on a Saturday morning, Sunday's my complete rest day. I like to have Wednesday as a bit more of active recovery, just because I'll hammer my body Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday's a little bit of a steadier day, but just burning them calories, and then a big finish to the week, which is Thursday, Friday. I'll have 2 spars a week. They start at 6 rounds, obviously build up then to 10, closer to the fight. A big bag session on a Monday where everyone joins in at the gym. It's just a good buzz. And then lots of running, like zone 2 runs, just to help with the weight loss and burning calories. But again, not really putting too much stress on my body. And then I'll have a couple of like top end, like VO2 max, red zone sessions that.
Do you look forward to them? Dread them?
A bit of both. I think the older I've got, the more I realise the importance of them, and like once it's done, like I really do enjoy the after feeling. But like I said, I can spend the whole afternoon dreading my next session. So
yeah. What about nutrition?
So when I first started out, I had a nutritionist who I worked with a couple of years. And now I feel like I've learnt enough knowledge over the years, and kind of just do it myself. And I've done.
Do you
pretty well
monitor
so
your
far.
body fat percentage, and do you do that at home, or do you have a professional helping you in that?
So
field?
obviously when I had the nutritionist, they were obviously testing my body fat and stuff like that. But now I kind of just wing it. I know it sounds bad, but I kind of over the years I've learned what works for me, and
It doesn't sound bad. It sounds self-assured, and
yeah.
you know what works, and you know your body
Yeah,
better than
definitely.
anyone else.
And obviously, I need to make sure I'm getting the correct fuel in and stuff for the hard training and that. But like I said, over the years, I feel like I've learnt enough to just kind of get it
Are
done.
you in control? Are you in full control? So you pick whether you have a nutritionist or not, and if
Yeah.
you wanted one, you choose the nutritionist.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Same with trainers, personal trainers.
Yeah. So I work with so now my coach is Paul Juro, so he's my old amateur coach. So I worked with him for years from being young, from stepping through the amateur doors, and I kind of got him back on board a couple of years ago. I just wanted that sharpness back. I felt like I was getting too into that professional moulded slow, and it's because women's boxing's only 2-minute rounds, whereas the men as a professional it's 3 minutes, and I felt like I was getting more to the 3-minute style, whereas I needed that gear to be able to maintain quick pace for 2 minutes, because women's boxing it's quick and sharp and it's over and done with before you even know it. So we got Paul back on board, and he's my main coach now. And then for my conditioning, strength and conditioning, it's I work with John Watton, so he's over in Hatfield, and he's been brilliant. So I've worked with John now for a couple of years, and he's done so much for me as on the personal level. It's helped me with my mindset and stuff like that. Is completely changed my life. So.
Coming on to mindset. So, what does that look like? How does someone prepare your mind for a fight? What does that entail?
I think for so long I used to just wing it and just be like, it is what it is, got to get it done. I always worried about letting people down and letting myself down and stuff like that. Whereas, once I started working with John, he introduced me to meditation and really calming myself, and just little tools, tricks and tools you can use to just to be level-headed and as least stress as possible. So now I make sure I'm meditating every day and just being very grounded and in the moment. So
meditation. What does is when you say meditation? I literally envisage you sat with your hands up like
basically. No.
And where do you take your mind then? What is it? Is it thinking about the fight? Is it Is it listening to whale noises? What is it?
Yeah, for me it's just about completely switching off. My brain's kind of 100 mile an hour thinking of boxing or what I need to do. I've had done tomorrow's tea and shopping and all that stuff. Your mind's just 100 mile an hour. So I think that being able to allow yourself to have 30 minutes switch off throughout the day just really settles you back down and brings you back down. And we've just been gifted a infrared sauna. So we've kind of put it outside in the summer house and we've made it into a bit of a zen den. So I'll go out there now and just switch off and meditate for half an hour at a time, and trying to keep the mind as blank as possible. And you kind of just focusing on your breathing and things you may hear, and it's just bringing you into the moment.
And do you feel like it works? Yeah, I
feel like I'm a lot less reactive to things. I used to let little things bother me, whereas now it just go over my head and just
little things in boxing or in day-to-day life.
Yeah, day-to-day life, generally, and boxing, and I just feel like I'm a lot calmer and a nice person to be around. Not that I've ever been a nasty person, but
well, I can relate to that. Maybe we all need a zen box, because if I'm stressed with work, which is almost daily, I am more agitated and I perhaps do say things that I shouldn't say and so on. So maybe there's something to be said for meditation.
I've said it for a while now. Obviously, because I've seen the difference it's made in myself and just everything in general, my confidence and how to handle things and deal with things that just get thrown at you. I do feel like it needs to be brought into the younger children, to be taught how to deal with their emotions and stuff properly, and I think you can't go wrong with meditation.
I will try it. You're certainly a role model for young people, especially people aspiring to become professional athletes. Does this weigh in on your mind? Are you conscious of that, or is it something you think that you'll look back on and maybe when you retire eventually you'll work in that area, or what? You're obviously aware that you've got a mass following. Do you consider it when you're posting things on social media? Is it something that you actively think about?
Yeah and no. I think it's only recent where I thought like the younger people really looking up to me, and it's mainly when I go into the boxing gym and the amateurs are in and it's a full gym and they're all a little bit starstruck to see me, and I just think it's just me, like I'm just like you guys, so that makes me laugh. But I think it's important as well for me to make sure I'm using my platform correctly, and things that are going out on my socials is I could just got to be aware that there's obviously a younger generation seeing that stuff, and anything to just motivate people and inspire people. That's what I want to do, and so like recently I've started doing a little bit of PT work on the side, and it's nice. I've just got a couple of women coming in, and it's nice to be able to like share the stories and for them to realise how similar we are as people and stuff, and it's nice to give them advice and just kind of that socialise as well with them, and just show them that I'm just a human as well.
Yeah, it's hard because they'll be in awe of you, won't they? And I think it must be a natural thing to, when they bump into someone like yourself that's on the telly, X amount of followers. Like, we get it, don't we? But it is breaking down those barriers.
Yeah, it makes. Do you know one thing that makes me cringe? Like, if someone does come up and make a fuss, and I'm like, oh no,
you don't know how to deal with it, right?
Like stop, it's just me, and people are like, I can't believe I've met you, and stuff like that, and I just think, oh no, but it's nice, and I think it just makes it obvious the impact I do have on people local and stuff like that, and how important it is to make sure I'm carrying myself in a certain way, and just inspiring people really.
And you do that well. What would your advice be to those young athletes? I'm sure, like you say, the amateurs in the gym, do they come to you for advice, and are you happy to give it? And what is the best advice to be the next Terri Harper?
Yeah, I don't mind if anyone ever wants to come up and pick my brains about anything. Not that I feel like I can't really give them good advice, but I guess I have been around the game long enough to give them some like first-hand like experience on stuff. But I think for me, the advice I'd give to an amateur is to just enjoy what you're doing, and not put too much pressure on yourself, and not worry about your record. And it's all about just turning up to the gym, mixing in with everyone. In the gym, we've got people from all walks of life in there, and people you probably won't make friends with on the outside. So it's nice that it's a great like gym family, and I think it's just about doing it for yourself, not trying to prove anything to anyone else, and not to worry too much about your record, and just get the experience and just enjoy what you do.
What happens then? Would they, if they were performing well, how does it happen? Who arranges the first fight, or did they get scouted, or what? I don't understand how it evolves. So from being someone like yourself who went to the gym, did some boxing training, how does that evolve into becoming professional?
So obviously, as when you first turn out as an amateur, you'll have a couple of fights with people similar to your level, and then you build up, just getting the experience. You can go to the championships and nationals, and it's mainly the championships and nationals and stuff where you'll get like scouting and stuff, and obviously if you go on to win them, that's when you can get picked for like England and GB to represent your country and stuff. And then I think for me as a professional, I didn't really go down the GB route or anything like that. I stepped away from boxing for a couple of years, and my manager Andrew just randomly contacted me saying, what do you reckon to gain it one more try and turn in professional? And that's where my professional career took off. Obviously I didn't come from the GB background, so we had to do the grafters selves on the small hall shows, and really pushing to sell tickets and get people to come and to support me. And once we got the ball rolling with that, and these promoters see that you've got a following and you're selling tickets, that's when they're interested, and that's when the contracts start coming.
How do you get that first amateur fight? Do you go and organise it with somebody, or?
Oh no, that's all. It's all down to your coach.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all down
so
to
your coach does that.
Yeah.
And then you said you stopped for 2 years.
Yeah.
Why did you stop for 2 years?
I started university. I finished school, went to university, and I think I just wanted to live a normal life, as you'd say. But during that time living a normal life, I felt like I had something missing always, and
because of the amount of training that was required.
Yeah. So like it's all I'd known. So once Andrew sent me that message, and he snatched his hand off at the opportunity and just never looked back, and I was grateful that I was given the second opportunity, and it's completely changed my life.
It is a lifestyle, definitely. My friend, growing up at school, we call him Jack, he's not with us anymore, sadly, but he swam for Great Britain, but he used to train pre-school, so before school and after school, and his nickname was Slug, because he was literally like so slow and tired throughout the day.
Yeah.
And it takes that dedication and pure effort to become successful in high performing sport.
Yeah, at such a young age as well. It's a lot of sacrifice. Like you'll be finishing school, your friends are going out to play and mess around on park and stuff, and they're eating cookies for dinner or whatever they want, and then we're there as young athletes on a strict nutrition plan, and got to go to training once we get home from the gym, and it's again you got to be doing you got to love it, otherwise there's no way you'd sacrifice so much.
I mean, you can understand why so many people wouldn't get on board with that. And also, like we talked about your upbringing, but is it quite commonplace that successful people in sports probably do have someone in the family that's willing to push them for the greater good? Because it must be hard as a parent saying, go do this, I know what's good for you.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking, oh, but all my friends are playing out late in the park. There's somewhere along the line some hard decisions to be made by either you or your parents at an earlier age, and it's sort of funny how it roots your journey, doesn't it?
Yeah, I do think it's important for young people to have that, like your parents or someone in the family to be pushing you, and for you to go on to do good things for yourself and make good choices, but it's that fine line. If they're pushing too much, you're probably going to rebel and go against everything they say, and I feel like that's what I kind of did again with my dad growing up, and I used to think he was always on my case, and I'm like, Dad, get off my back, I just want to chill out and stuff. But looking back now, I knew he only had my best interests at heart, and he wanted the best for me. So I do regret taking his £20 notes and not turning up to training. I know
it's a fun story for a podcast now, though, isn't it? So obviously, I want to know what compromises you've had to make. But I mean, lifestyle's pretty much the biggest one for yourself then. Is it still the same now? So are you still missing out on things? Do you still have friends going out doing things that are perhaps pulling your arm saying, come on, you can come out for one? Or have you got to the stage now where they know not to bother you, and you know they expect you to be you and stick to your routine?
Yeah, to be fair, I feel like I've always been one who's kind of kept myself to myself anyway. I've never been like outgoing or wanted to go out on nights out and stuff, and I like the routine, and once I'm out of it, I feel lost and kind of a bit out of control. So I think the main thing for me is my partner, like Gemma. She has to go through these training camps with me. It's something that I'm used to, and I enjoy it. It don't bother me. I'd rather be stuck in training camp than having to get dressed up and go out on a Friday night. But obviously, like Gemma's just took to it like a duck to water, and Gemma again, she's someone who puts my needs first and understands the game, even though she's never boxed a day in her life or anything like that. She understands the sacrifices that have to be made for us to go on to have a good life, and we make sure we enjoy the downtime when we do have it.
Thank you, Gemma. let's move on to mental health. So, have you ever experienced any tough times relating to mental health? Because obviously, running a business, high level performers, it's out there, isn't it? Mental health is a thing. Have you got any experience of any mental health?
Yeah, I'd say, like I said earlier, like when my career kind of skyrocketed, the pressure comes with it, and it's you don't get training in that, and you've got to learn how to get yourself through this. And there's like online trolls and people waiting to see you fail and stuff, and like I said, it's a lot of pressure, and you want to do well and go on to make sure you're securing the next good payday and stuff like that. And I think over the years, just surrounding myself with good people and knowing who's truly there for me and got my best interests at heart is what's helped me get through it. So like now I'll read a comment online who's someone trolling me, it don't bother me, because like, who are they? They don't know me, I don't know them. I'll probably never ever see them in my life. So whereas before it would have ate me up, the comment, and I would have overthought it and wondered, why is this person not like me and stuff, and probably be offended that I'm not everyone's cup of tea. But
I can completely relate. I've experienced it too, and as you grow and spend more time in your field, you sort of accept that it's part and parcel. But at first it definitely does take you back, because if you're a genuine person, you're going to take things personally.
Yeah.
It's in human nature you want to be liked. It stems right back to when we were, I don't know, roaming around in caves, and if you weren't liked, then you'd have been thrown out to the wolves, wouldn't you? So we automatically want to be liked. So when you see something like that online, it definitely has an impact, and it is just a case of knowing yourself, I guess, and like you said, just venting to the people around you, the people that you know have your best interest at heart. And it's always going to be out there with social media, and social media is just increasing and becoming more of a troll itself at times.
I think for me, you got to, or for anyone, you got to remember social media is not all as it seems, and probably only give so much of yourself to social media. Don't let it take all of you. And I think there could be 30 comments on a post, 29 of them are all love and positivity, and you can dwell on that one comment, which can like then spiral your day off and make you have a bad day. So again, it's like, for me, I like to make sure I have social media breaks, or I'll leave my phone upstairs and just not getting overly attached to what's my reactions to this post and stuff like that. It's just, for me, I could easily just turn my phone off and not use it, but unfortunately I need to engage with the fans and sell tickets and stuff like that. So I have got to give so much of myself to that, but I just make sure it's controlled and limited. Yeah,
you sound like me. I have the same conversations with my staff, and it sort of is what it is, because social media also is a platform for us to grow our business as well. So it as well as its cons, it has a lot of pros, doesn't it? So it's unavoidable. So it's all about dealing with it.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's move into then female boxing. Have you ever had to battle any stereotypes in the sport?
I have been very lucky throughout my career to go through without any negativity on that, on being a female fighter. And I think I kind of came back into the game when there was a big push with women fighters. Katie Taylor, she got pushed big with Sky Sports and stuff, and I kind of rode that wave, and luckily I haven't experienced that. So, but I do know it's out there, and for all women in sport, and again it's something that we just got to keep breaking down these barriers, and for us female fighters, it's putting on great fights and making sure there's good matchups, and it's getting the respect that the sport deserves, really.
Let's talk about your upcoming fight then. So this might air after the fight, but we can always put this snippet in beforehand. Tell us what's going on.
So I've got the opportunity to headline Eco Power Stadium, so that's at Doncaster, and I think despite everything I've experienced over the years in my boxing career and winning multiple world titles and so many highs, I think this is a cherry on the top, and I think it's every fighter's dream to be able to headline in front of the home crowd. So I've got that opportunity now, and it's an amazing experience that I'm going to have in my career, and it's something that I know I can tick off and say I did that. So I'm very proud of myself and thankful for everyone who's worked behind the scenes to get it over the line.
It's pure entertainment, isn't it? And you're bringing that home for your community and your people, and I guess they're proud of you too.
Yeah.
I'll certainly be there anyway, cheering you on. What's the future look like? So your short-term goals, and obviously you've got your fight coming up, but after that, what does it look like? Is there automatically another fight? How old are you now, and when do you retire? Tell me from short-term to long-term goals, what it looks like for you.
So short-term, this year is a successful defence in front of my home crowd at Doncaster. And then I want to go on to fight the other champions in this weight division, to unify. And I think for me, I've collected multiple belts over multiple weights, but the main goal now is to become undisputed. So that's collecting all the belts in that weight division and being the best at that weight. So I think that's the ultimate goal for me.
Do you truly? Because that's what you should do. Do you truly desire that? Is that?
Yeah, 100%. Because then no one can argue against it. It's facts. You're the best in the division. You beat everyone in the division. So, I think once that's done, I probably can give myself a pat on the back and have a couple of days rest and appreciate what I've done. But yeah, for me, boxing's all I've known, and it's part of your identity. And I feel like I'll box for as long as I'm loving it, and obviously as long as I'm healthy and happy. Boxing has my heart, so I'll do it for as long as I can, really. And after boxing, God knows what I'll do. I think obviously I'll just find another sport, a retirement sport to do, and get sucked up into that for a couple of years. But I think for now it's just putting all my eggs into one basket and achieve what I can from this.
Yeah, this industry requires absolute 100% focus in the short term, right? So, and then you can worry about what comes next afterwards.
Boxing's a short career, and I think I got reminded of that the other month when I was told it's coming up 10 years being professional boxing. It were kind of like, wow, that's gone fast. So, I think maybe 5-6 more years at this, and then just enjoy life, really, and the downtime, and again I'll probably get bored and find something else to do and to push me mentally and physically, but for now I'm just going to enjoy the years that I have left in boxing, and hopefully can achieve the plans that I've set out to. You're a professional athlete equals super fit, super healthy, but there is an element of risk with boxing, isn't there? Yeah. Does that ever come to mind? Yeah. Is that something you think about? Yeah, the older I've got, the more I think I'm getting punched in the head, and it's so dangerous. And I think that's what frustrates me most about the trolls and stuff. I think you've probably never laced a pair of gloves up, or we're putting a lot on the line. There's a lot of risk for us to go in there in the ring and entertain you then we're watching. So, it's part of it, but yeah, like I said, the older I've got, the more I realise the risks that I am taking, and again, it's if you've got no love for the sport, you need to walk out the door, because there's no point putting so much risk on the line.
Have you ever made any mistakes in boxing, in life?
No.
No.
Straight
up, no. That's a confident boxer.
I'm joking.
Answer.
Yeah, of course I have. I think everyone has. It's what you learn from and what you grow from, and I don't think anyone can say they've gone through life without making any mistakes, and
you learn from them, right?
Yeah, 100%. And from my boxing career, probably made numerous mistakes, but it kind of send you off one way, then you come back onto the pathway you're supposed to be. And it's all part of it. It's all part of the journey and the progress and character building and mental toughness and just a bit of everything.
Can we talk about the business side of it? So before you came today, I was trying to get my head around whether you see this as this is my business or this is what I do. I'm a sports professional, sporting athlete. What is it? Do you see it as if you're running a business? Do you manage accounts? Like, tell me.
Oh no, I have an accountant for that.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough for that. I get punched in the head for everything. It's a bit of both. I think I'm doing something that I love, but again, would I be wanting to get punched in the head and make these stupid weight cuts if I weren't getting paid? Like, I understand it's my job, it's my business, and I understand that boxing's a business. It's about selling yourself, selling tickets, getting people to come out to support it, because if you haven't got that, then you've got no platform then to have these fights. So I kind of see it from both points, but again, the older I've got, the wiser I've got, I do see it more as a business, and how you kind of, as a fighter, it's kind of like, don't know how you'd call it, but like, your flavour of the month, 1 month, and then you soon forgot about it. It's like you're back to beginning, so you have to, it's just a constant conveyor belt of
it's like on topic,
thing.
off topic, or on hype. And
yeah.
So does revenue come from sponsorship as well?
Yeah, so sponsorship helps out a lot, especially when you're first starting out in boxing. You've got all your medicals that you have to pay for every year, things like your kit, your nutritionist. There's a lot that goes on behind the scene that it costs a lot of money, and for me, I've been lucky enough to be in a position where I've got great sponsors and I can be a full-time athlete. So
it's interesting, isn't it? Because that, like, all these things cost money, and obviously it works both ways. The sponsors will come in and get their credibility from sponsoring you and the exposure, but it pays for them things that can put you on a level and move you forward, I guess.
Yeah, it's very important to get a good sponsorship, and not just I think it's about building relationships with these sponsors as well, and it's a bit more on personal level than just business. I think, like for me, I used to have a company who helped me get secure these sponsors, but I kind of got rid of that because it was taking away the personal and more like one-on-one between me and the sponsors. So I got rid of them, and it's everything I do now is I'll go and meet the sponsors myself and have a coffee, catch up, chat what the plans are and stuff. So I think it's better to be on a more personal level with.
You feel more in control.
Yeah.
Awesome. What's the hardest lessons you've learned? Is there you said earlier there's nothing you'd change, but if you think deeper, is there anything you've changed? Has there been some tough lessons?
Yeah. So growing up, I've always been competitive in all sports. Whatever I've done, I've always wanted to be the best. But I do say boxing has taught me how to lose. It's taught me how to take it on the chin, take a step back, hold your hands up and say, I got beat by the better person on the day. And I think that's been an important lesson for me to learn.
You can put that forward in life.
Yeah, something that Gemma needs to learn actually, because she is a sore loser.
You're both very competitive.
Yeah, very.
You're both into sports. Lastly then, to finish up, what do you want your legacy to be?
I think I want people to remember me as just like the girl next door, just down to earth, someone they could approach, and I'm just like everyone else, but I'm just doing something that I love, and I don't really know what else to say to that. It's
like it's almost proving that you can succeed with traits that aren't probably the stereotypical traits.
Definitely.
Let's just delve into traits real quick before we finish then. So what traits would you expect that a typical boxer should have, and how does that compare to you?
So I am total flip-it coin to what a boxer should be. So like I said, it's the kind of ego, the confidence, a bit in your face and stuff, and loud, and that is not me. So growing up, I've always been the shy kid, and I remember at school I used to struggle making eye contact with teachers. Like just in normal conversation and stuff like that. And I think over the years, boxing, I used to be terrible at public speaking, and it was kind of one of the things where you just got to chuck yourself in deep end.
Which is confidence, chucking yourself in deep end.
It's like I think over the years I've just learned how to, like, it's just a job, and just to not take it so serious and just enjoy it. So, but again, the confidence, it's, for me, I feel like I'm quietly confident. Like, I have trust in myself and my team and everything that we've worked on to have that quiet confidence, but I would never be one to be chucking it in someone's face or over the top with it.
Confident in your ability.
Yeah.
Awesome, right. That brings us to an end. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.